Let me begin today with a thought you must never forget. Failure is not a sudden event. It doesn't show up like a lightning strike, unexpected and dramatic. No, failure is subtle. It's quiet. It's gentle. It creeps in the back door while you're busy doing the little things you think don't matter. And one day after weeks, months, sometimes years, you look around and wonder how you drifted so far from where you meant to be. My friends, failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day, and success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That's the great divide. That's the difference. It's not talent, not luck, not circumstance, just daily choices multiplied by time. You see, most people look at successful individuals and imagine they made one big decision that changed everything, one big breakthrough, one magical moment, one stroke of fortune. But that's not how it works. Success is slow. Failure is slow. Both travel by quiet increments. It's like a ship drifting 1 degree off course. You don't notice the mistake today. You don't notice it tomorrow. But give it a month, give it a year, and suddenly you're in a place you never intended to go. That's what I call the slow drift, the silent slide toward a destination you didn't choose. Now, the purpose of our time together today is simple. Awareness and correction. Because once you understand the little habits, those quiet habits that steal your future, you can finally put a stop to them. Not next week, not next year. Now, today. We're going to unveil 6 behaviors, 6 patterns of neglect, 6 subtle choices that Jim Rohn himself would call a disaster in slow motion. Why? Because they don't ruin your life instantly, they ruin it daily. And the worst part is, you don't feel the damage until it's too late. But here's the good news. You can correct course just as quietly as you drifted off it. A small discipline repeated daily can change your direction. A single decision tonight can rewrite tomorrow. One adjustment made consistently can rebuild a life. And the moment you accept this truth, that your future is built by tiny choices, you regain your power, you stop blaming circumstances, and you start designing your destiny. So today, let's begin the journey of correction. Let's shine a light on the habits that once went unnoticed. Let's eliminate the drift, reclaim the direction, and take full responsibility for the future we're building. Because, my friends, you are the architect of your life. Every brick, every beam, every quiet habit. And the moment you choose new habits, you choose a new destiny. Now, let's begin with the first silent habit, one that steals more potential, more opportunity, and more time than almost anything else. Drifting through your days without a written plan. My friends, this one is subtle because it doesn't feel dangerous. You wake up, you move through the day, you handle what comes, you react to what arrives, you feel busy, you feel active, you feel engaged, but activity does not equal productivity, and movement does not equal advancement. You can run in circles all day long and end the day exactly where you started, tired but not triumphant. And let me tell you something, Jim Rohn taught me years ago, don't start your day until you've finished it on paper. That means if you don't design your day, someone else will design it for you, and trust me, they won't design it with your dreams in mind. The world is full of requests, interruptions, distractions, and demands that will gladly fill your hours if you don't claim those hours for yourself. Think about it like this. An architect never begins a building without a blueprint. A pilot never takes off without a flight plan. A coach never starts a game without a strategy. Yet most people, good people, hardworking people step into their day with no written direction at all, and then they wonder, at the end of the week, why nothing meaningful happened. It's because life responds to clarity. Success responds to structure. And your mind, your beautiful, brilliant mind performs best when it knows what matters most. The cost of drifting is enormous. When you drift, you react instead of create. You respond instead of initiate. You live by chance instead of by design. You fill your day with what is urgent instead of what is important. And the tragic part is, you may not even notice the waste until years have passed. That's the danger of drifting. It doesn't hurt today, but it destroys tomorrow. But here's the correction. It's simple. It's small. And it's powerful. Spend 10 quiet minutes each night finishing tomorrow on paper. Ask yourself, what absolutely must get done? What moves me closer to my goals? What deserves my finest energy? What can wait? What must be protected? Write it down. Prioritize it. Make the decisions tonight. So tomorrow you are free to execute, not struggle to choose. Because when you wake up already knowing what matters, you carry authority into the day. You've already won half the battle. Let me tell you, the mind loves clarity and the body follows order. When you step into the morning with a written plan, you step into the day with confidence. You become the director, not the actor being pushed around by the script. And that's the difference between drifting your life and driving your life. Start small if you must write 3 important tasks for tomorrow. Complete them with focus. End the day with pride, not exhaustion. And once you feel that quiet victory, that small sense of triumph, you'll want it again and again. And soon, planning is not a chore, it's a privilege. So remember this, the undisciplined spend their time. The productive invest it, and a plan is the first investment. If you eliminate the habit of drifting, you reclaim your direction. And when direction returns, so does progress, purpose, and peace of mind. Let's move now to the second silent habit. And this one is responsible for more wasted potential than all the distractions in the world combined, the disease of I'll start tomorrow. Oh, my friends, if drifting steals your days, postponing steals your destiny. And the tragedy is, it always sounds so innocent. I'll start tomorrow, I'll begin next week, I'll begin when things settle down. But let me remind you of something Jim Rohn said that jolted me the first time I heard it. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. And the trouble with tomorrow is simple. It never arrives. It's the busiest day of your life. 1,000 dreams are scheduled for tomorrow. 1,000 decisions delayed to tomorrow. 1,000 promises whispered toward tomorrow. And tomorrow quietly becomes next week, next month, next year. If you're not careful, postponement becomes your identity. And the saddest thing about a postponed life is that you lose trust in yourself. You stop believing your own promises. You stop believing your own words. And once you lose self-respect, discipline becomes almost impossible. Now let's understand why we postpone. Not because we're lazy. Few people are truly lazy. Most people simply let their feelings run their schedule. If they feel inspired, they move. If they don't, they wait. But discipline isn't built on emotion. Discipline is built on commitment. If you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. You've got to learn to do it when it's time to do it, not when you feel like doing it. And that, my friends, is how champions are made, not by bursts of inspiration, but by steady follow-through, especially on the days when the feeling isn't there. Consider this thought. Every act of postponement strengthens the chains of procrastination, and every act of immediate action weakens them. Every time you choose later, that habit grows roots. Every time you choose now, you reclaim authority over your future. And here's the miracle. You don't need a grand beginning. You don't need to overhaul your life in one motion. You don't need to start perfectly. You only need to start poorly if necessary, imperfectly if required. But start, because action, even small action, is the antidote to delay. 1 page read, 1 call made, 1 task begun, 1 step taken. That's all it takes to break the power of I'll start tomorrow. Let me give you the truth. Motivation won't come first. Action comes first. Motivation follows. People wait for the feeling, but the feeling is created by movement. The day you learn this is the day your life changes forever. Don't give your future to tomorrow. Don't trust tomorrow. It is a notorious thief. Trust today. Trust this hour. Trust this moment. And when you act now, right now, you reclaim control from the habit that has stolen so many dreams from so many good people who simply kept waiting for a better moment. So remember this core principle. A delayed start is often a destroyed start. If something is important, begin it today. Not all at once, not perfectly, but decisively. Because the moment you break the habit of postponement, you stop drifting toward regret and start marching toward achievement. Now let's move to the third silent habit, And this one is perhaps the most deceptive of them all, consuming more entertainment than education. My friends, if there is one thing Jim Rohn repeated again and again, it's this. Most people have their TV set turned on and their life turned off. Today, the TV has 1,000 new forms, scrolling, streaming, swiping, short clips, endless updates, all waiting to capture your attention and steal your potential. And here's the danger. Entertainment feels harmless. It feels relaxing. It feels normal. Everyone around you's doing it, so you assume it's safe. But too much entertainment starves the mind. It steals your imagination. It numbs your ambition. It replaces curiosity with comfort and creativity with consumption. Entertainment whispers, just one more, while your goals quietly fade into the background. You don't feel the damage today, but you will feel it 5 years from now when the people who chose learning have passed you, surpassed you, and outgrown the life you're still dreaming of. Jim Rohn taught me this simple equation. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. The key word is you, and you cannot grow yourself on a diet of distraction. You cannot build a future on a foundation of noise. You cannot expect extraordinary results from a mind fed mostly by entertainment. Let me say it plainly. Your mind is a garden. If you plant nothing, weeds grow by default. Weeds of doubt, weeds of fear, weeds of procrastination. The mind left unattended becomes a field of distractions. But plant ideas, plant books, plant wisdom. Oh, the garden flourishes. You become sharper, braver, stronger, more capable, not because the world changed, but because you changed. Now, here's the interesting part. You don't need to give up entertainment entirely. You only need to reverse the ratio. Let education become the main course and entertainment the dessert. Read 10 pages of a good book before you scroll 1 page of social media. Listen to a life-changing message before you dive into another hour of passive noise. Trade 30 minutes of consumption for 30 minutes of creation. Journaling, thinking, planning, building. And watch what happens. Your mindset rises. Your confidence grows. Your ideas sharpen. And suddenly, while everyone around you is being entertained, you are being elevated. Because here's the miracle Jim Rohn taught us. 1 hour of self-education per day puts you in the top 5% of your field in 5 years. Just 1 hour. While others scroll, you study. While others consume, you create. While others drift, you develop. And that difference compounds into a future they simply won't understand. So remember this principle. Success requires nourishment, not noise. Feed your mind the material of progress, books, courses, mentors, notes, ideas, and your life will reflect the quality of what you consume. Break this silent habit, and you'll break the invisible ceiling that has held you down more than you ever realized. Now let's move on to the fourth silent habit, one that Jim Rohn considered so powerful, so influential, that he said it could shape your whole life without you even noticing. Keeping low standards associations. My friends, let me remind you of one of Jim Rohn's most quoted lines. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that isn't poetry, that's physics, that's gravity. That's how human nature works. The people around you pull you in their direction, whether upward or downward, forward or backward, toward greatness or toward mediocrity. If you spend too much time with complainers, you begin to complain. If you spend too much time with doubters, you begin to doubt. If you spend too much time with those who expect nothing of themselves, you quietly lower the expectations you have for yourself. Not because you want to, but because that is the natural law of influence association, is contagious. Now, low standard associations don't always look dangerous. Sometimes they're fun, familiar, comfortable, but comfort can be a trap. A crowd without ambition is like a warm bath. It feels good for a moment, but stay too long and you'll weaken. People who gossip, criticize, waste time, blame others, live small, think small, expect small. These people don't have to attack your dreams to kill them. All they have to do is ignore them. And slowly, Your dreams shrink to match the environment. Because here's the truth. You cannot fly with the eagles if you spend all your time scratching with the chickens. Jim Rohn used to say, if someone's not adding to your life, they are subtracting from it. There is no neutrality in influence. You must ask yourself hard questions. Who inspires me? Who drains me? Who challenges me? Who distracts me? Who raises my standards? Who lowers them? And once you ask these questions honestly, your future becomes very clear. You don't have to cut people off. You don't have to be harsh or dramatic. But you must learn the art of limited association and expanded association. Limit your time with those who pull you backward. Expand your time with those who pull you forward. People who think, people who grow, people who strive, people who build, people who talk about ideas, not gossip. Solutions, not excuses. Effort, not entitlement. These are the people who will change your life without even trying. Let me offer you this principle. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Even the strongest vision will collapse under the weight of negative influence. But even the weakest beginning can flourish in a positive one. So choose your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. Spend time with readers, and you'll begin to read. Spend time with disciplined people, and you'll begin to discipline yourself. Spend time with winners, and you'll begin to win. It's automatic. Break the habit of low standard associations, and you break free from one of the most powerful hidden restraints holding you back. Because once you align your environment with your ambitions, your life begins to move in ways that feel almost miraculous. Now let's turn to the fifth silent habit one, so subtle that most people go their entire lives without correcting it. Living without a system of personal review. My friends, Jim Rohn used to say, don't just go through the day, get from the day. And that is the secret right there. Because experience alone teaches nothing, evaluated experience is what transforms ordinary days into extraordinary growth. Yet most people hurry from task to task, week to week, year to year, never stopping long enough to extract the lessons that would prevent repeated mistakes, wasted time, and misdirected effort. They wonder why they keep living the same year over and over again. It's because they keep moving, but they never measure. They keep living, but they never learn. Think of it like this. An airplane makes thousands of micro-corrections during every flight. Thousands. If it did not adjust constantly, it would miss its destination every single time. But how many corrections do we make in a day? A week? A year? Without reflection, we fly blind. And a blind pilot doesn't drift gently off course. He crashes. Not intentionally, not dramatically, but inevitably. Jim Rohn taught that you cannot improve what you do not examine. You cannot correct what you refuse to face. You cannot grow from what you never measure. And this is where the daily review becomes powerful. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 little questions. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What will I do differently tomorrow? Write it down. Don't trust your memory. It's too soft. Ink your thoughts. When you write, you slow the mind. When you write, you think clearer. When you write, you see truth that your emotions often hide. But don't stop there. Once a week, perform a deeper reflection. Sit quietly, no noise, no distractions, and evaluate your week. Where did your time go? Did your actions match your priorities? What victories can you celebrate? What mistakes can you fix? This weekly reflection is how you prevent a bad Tuesday from becoming a bad month. It's how you recalibrate before you drift too far. And once a month or once a quarter, take a higher view. Look at your goals, your progress, your habits. Celebrate the growth, confront the gaps, and make the necessary adjustments. Remember this. Progress is often invisible in the moment, but undeniable when measured intentionally. Reflection reveals the growth you could easily miss. It builds gratitude. It builds perspective. It builds wisdom. And most importantly, it builds momentum, because when you see improvement, even small improvement, you naturally want more. So break this silent habit, the habit of moving without measuring, living without learning, acting without adjusting. Install a system of personal review, and you transform the passing of time into the improvement of life. You become your own teacher, your own coach, your own guide. And that, my friends, is how an ordinary day becomes a stepping stone toward extraordinary success. Now, let's move to the sixth silent habit. And this one, my friends, is the most ironic of them all, because people neglect it in the name of success, not realizing that neglecting it destroys the very success they're chasing. I'm talking about neglecting your health while pursuing achievement. Jim Rohn said it best, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Simple, profound, unavoidable. Yet look around. People sacrifice sleep to chase goals. They trade homemade meals for fast convenience. They skip movement for more screen time. They numb stress instead of managing it. And they tell themselves a comforting little lie. I'll take care of my health later, when things slow down, when I have more time. But let me give you a truth you must never forget. There is no success without health, because health is the foundation on which every other achievement stands. Now, here's where the danger lies. Poor health does not collapse your life overnight. No, it quietly erodes your energy, your clarity, your patience, your creativity, your discipline. It steals an inch of vitality today, an inch of focus tomorrow, until one morning you wake up and the fire is gone, not extinguished by catastrophe, but by self-neglect. And understand this, when your energy drops, your decision-making weakens. When your decision-making weakens, your habits decline. When your habits decline, your results diminish. Everything is connected. Everything flows from the condition of the body that carries your dreams. This is why Jim Rohn taught that your attitude is influenced by your health. A tired body breeds a negative mind. A sluggish body produces sluggish effort. A stressed out body invites stressed out thinking. But a vibrant body, rested, nourished, moved, creates a fertile environment for discipline, optimism, and creativity. When your energy is high, even difficult tasks feel lighter. When your energy is depleted, even simple tasks feel impossible. And here is the truth. You cannot become strong in business while becoming weak in your body. You cannot build a life of excellence with a vehicle that is breaking down. So what's the correction? It's simpler than we make it. Move your body daily. Even 10 minutes of honest movement sends a message to your future. I intend to be here. Nourish yourself not with perfection, but with intention. Sleep at consistent hours. Reduce the noise before bed. Protect your peace. Drink water. Breathe deeply. Take breaks before you break. Treat self-care not as indulgence, but as maintenance, because champions maintain themselves. Let me tell you this. Health isn't something you pursue once you succeed. Health is what allows you to succeed. Make it a priority now, and your energy will rise. And when your energy rises, everything in your life rises with it. Your discipline, your productivity, your relationships, your mood, your resilience. Success expands in the presence of vitality. Break this silent habit. Stop sacrificing your health for your goals. Instead, align them. Build a life where success stands on a foundation strong enough to hold it. Because if you lose your health, you lose the ability to enjoy the very success you work so hard to achieve. Now that we've uncovered these 6 silent habits, let's bring everything together with the philosophy Jim Rohn believed was the turning point of a person's entire life. The compounding power of daily disciplines. My friends, once you understand this principle, not intellectually, but emotionally, your life will never look the same again. Because the truth is, success does not arrive like a thunderstorm. It does not burst onto the stage with trumpets and applause. No, success comes quietly, silently, almost secretly, through the small disciplines most people overlook. And failure, just the same, arrives through the small neglects most people excuse. Jim Rohn called it one of the great contradictions of life. A few simple disciplines practiced every day, and your future is magnificent. A few errors in judgment repeated every day, and your future is miserable. That's the split. That's the divide. And the distance between the two is not miles, it's millimeters. Think of it like this. Every day you are making deposits or withdrawals from the bank of your future. When you plan your day, that's a deposit. When you drift, that's a withdrawal. When you take action today, that's a deposit. When you postpone, that's a withdrawal. When you choose education over entertainment, that's a deposit. When you drown in distraction, that's a withdrawal. When you surround yourself with disciplined people, that's a deposit. When you surround yourself with the unmotivated, that's a withdrawal. When you reflect at night, that's a deposit. When you repeat the same mistakes blindly, that's a withdrawal. When you care for your health, that's a deposit. When you sacrifice your body for your schedule, that's a withdrawal. And the miracle or the disaster is that these deposits and withdrawals do not show their consequences today. They accumulate. They grow. They compound. And one day, you wake up and discover the truth. Your habits have built your life. Now, here's what Jim Rohn wanted us to understand. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. You can't become a millionaire tomorrow. You can't become fit tomorrow. You can't become wise, disciplined, respected, admired, confident tomorrow. But you can take one small discipline tonight, one correction, one choice, one action, and in that moment, you've changed the direction of your entire life. If you practice that discipline again tomorrow, the direction strengthens. If you practice it for a week, the direction becomes a path. If you practice it for a month, the path becomes a road. And if you practice it for a year, the road becomes a lifestyle. That's the power of small things done consistently. Let me offer you the simplest formula Jim Rohn ever gave. If you improve your habits just 1% a day, in 1 year you won't be 365% better, you'll be 37 times better. That's the mathematics of discipline. And the opposite is true. If you neglect your habits by 1% a day, you won't be 365% worse. You'll barely recognize the person you've become. This is why daily habits matter. Not because the habits themselves are dramatic, but because their long-term consequences are. So take these 6 corrections and let them become your new philosophy. Saying, I'll start tomorrow, correct it. Drifting without a plan, correct it. Feeding your mind junk, correct it. Staying in low-standard circles, correct it. Living without review, correct it. Sacrificing health, correct it. And as you correct these quiet errors, you will feel something remarkable happening. You will begin to respect yourself again. And when self-respect rises, discipline rises. When discipline rises, results rise. When results rise, confidence rises. It all begins with one simple thought. I will no longer leave my future to chance. I will design it through daily disciplines. Because the future does not respond to hope. It responds to habit. And the moment you embrace that truth, you stop waiting for success and begin compounding it. And now, my friends, as we bring this message to a close, let me leave you with a simple but life-changing invitation, the invitation to rewrite your future. Because after all we've discussed today, the drifting, the postponing, the distractions, the associations, the lack of review, the neglect of your health, there's one principle that matters more than all the others combined. Your future is not determined by your past. Your future is determined by your habits. It does not matter how long you've drifted, how often you've postponed, how deeply you've been distracted, how low your associations have been, how blind your days have felt, or how much of your health you've sacrificed in the name of busyness. The moment you choose a new direction, the moment you install new habits, the moment you step into discipline, instead of drifting, that moment becomes the day your life begins to change. Jim Rohn said, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And that is the great gift of being human, the ability to decide again, to decide better, to decide with clarity, with courage, with intention. You don't need perfection. You don't need dramatic transformation. You don't need a new life by morning. All you need is a new pattern, one small discipline today, one small correction tomorrow, one small improvement the next day. And in time, those small efforts accumulate into something extraordinary. Because success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So let this be your moment of decision. Choose one habit, just one from the 6 we revealed, and begin correcting it tonight, not next week, not when you're ready, tonight. Whether it's designing your day, taking action now instead of tomorrow, feeding your mind instead of numbing it, choosing better associations, reviewing your days, or protecting your health, pick one and begin. Because the smallest discipline can set in motion the greatest transformation. And once you feel that first improvement, once you get that first taste of personal mastery, you'll want more. You'll rise a little higher, stretch a little further, commit a little deeper. That's the momentum of success. It starts small, but it becomes unstoppable. Remember this, greatness is not an event, it's a habit. Wealth is a habit. Confidence is a habit. Wisdom is a habit. Peace, progress, discipline, purpose. These two are habits. And the moment you choose better habits, you choose a better life. So leave this session not with inspiration, but with intention. Walk away not with excitement, but with a plan. Write it down, commit to it, begin it, and one day, maybe sooner than you imagine, people will look at your life and call it success. But you will know the truth. It wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it wasn't magic, it was daily discipline, quietly practiced, faithfully repeated, relentlessly compounded. Your life is waiting on the other side of better habits. Begin the journey, start the correction, and build the future by design.